That's look at you guys. Yep. Let's give this a little weight so it's not going to fall over. Yeah, that's true.
Star Trek was the first palm pilot. Yeah. Not palm pilot, what you call it? iPad.
Right.
Or tablet.
Little extra support in the back. Yeah, whichever one's heavier.
Our girls match with your guys.
Just a little extra bracing.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Well, no, just
Montana Tech? No, Michigan Tech. They were a good team. They were
One of the best.
Check that box. Content today.
No, it's fine. The fourth.
Make it out of your shot, Dan.
Get out of my shot.
Get out of your shot. Nobody wants my picture. My hair's too big.
Yeah.
Because that's the average.
Yeah. You just want to know what happened on first.
Cheers.
How old are you? 47? 6? Yeah. Hey, you stop counting. Hey, you stop counting after a while. It's not important now. 46? 46. I'll be 47. November. I can take it right.
You're 46, huh?
Yes, sir.
And born and raised in New Orleans, right? Yeah.
Born and raised. Greatest place on earth.
I think so.
We have a former copy editor that, do you know if Crawdad's still working at the New Orleans paper? Do you remember him?
I do remember him, yeah.
He was there for many, many years.
Well, actually, there was a former copy editor, I don't know if you ever met Natalie DeLaba.
Yeah. Very brief.
She's now at the Baton Rouge paper.
Oh, yeah?
Is it Baton Rouge or Baton Rouge?
Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge, okay, I just want to make sure I said pronouncing it.
There are actually two papers now in New Orleans. There was the Times and they started another one just recently.
The Times became, that was a new paper there?
I thought, unless they merged with the Times. Okay.
It came in,
Times Picayune Union.
That's where James Karst worked. Yeah.
Mhm.
Savage shot.
So you just couldn't.
When was the last time there was snow?
Oh, last time I saw it, it was in the, I want to say the early 90s.
And then there was a little icing in 2000.
Right. But it wasn't snow like it was. It just fell.
It was a deep frost.
Right.
Somebody else.
So that basically was just fell and melted at the same time.
And there was 2 IC&A schools, and people
Right.
closed schools and closed city of buildings.
Mhm. So this is in the early 90s.
Thank you for your patience, folks on the line. We are still waiting for one more group to show up here, so just give us a few more minutes and we'll get started.
No, Savannah, we just had 6 inches of snow,
Really? When?
in January.
Wow.
Yeah, and the city was shut down for almost a week. Yeah, and they only said they had 2 feet in a few hours. Yeah, 6 inches. The interstate, both directions on 95, it didn't move for almost 24 hours.
I used to live in Augusta.
Somebody doesn't have their phone on mute.
Oh, okay.
We do.
Yeah, I lived in Augusta back in 2001.
Okay.
They got 2 inches of snow. My girlfriend at the time cried because I was going to the store to get bread, you know, and milk and stuff. I'm so concerned about you. I'm like, it's like 2 inches of snow.
How you guys doing?
Hey, guys.
Sorry we're late.
Oh, no problem, man. We kept the party waiting for you.
I'm late, Aaron, personally.
We kept it waiting for you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna look.
I remember when the first snowstorm hit Atlanta, a couple years, 2 years ago, it shut this place down and then turned around and it hit again 2 years later, shut the place down.
Mr. Stewart, we're gonna just hook you up real quick.
Okay.
All right, if you want to put that in your pocket.
Oh, my pocket?
Yeah. There you go, sir.
Do you want to put that on?
Really, she doesn't know what you're saying or what you did.
Check your levels and all.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. I just didn't want to go to shop. Marvin, let me know when we're ready.
Do you need them to talk to get levels?
Yeah, can you just say anything? Say
Good afternoon.
Hello? Hello?
All right, cool. We're picking
You're
up
good
on
on,
the
you're good on levels? Okay.
Yep. Again, sorry for holding up the party.
Is that a safe shirt?
Yeah.
Your conference is being recorded.
Hey. All right, cool.
All right.
So we're already off the right track.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for your patience as we got everything started here in the room in Fairbanks. My name's Marmion Grimes. I'm going to be facilitating the news conference today. We're just going to have a quick opening statement, and then the speakers will open the floor to questions. A couple of housekeeping items. If you can please mute your phones while you are not asking questions, that would help ensure that the sound quality is good. This conference line is being recorded, and so it will be available later for download if you need it. Today here in the room we have Keith Champagne, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs at UAF, and Sterling Steward, the Alaskan Annex newly named Athletic Director. I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Champagne and let him go ahead with an opening statement.
Well, thank you very much. First thing I want to do is thank everybody for coming out today. I want to thank people for their patience, time, and consideration as we move through this process successfully. And I just want to start off by introducing our new NANA Athletic Director, Mr. Sterling Steward. And I also have a new NANA cap here for you. In the right direction. And we'll go from there. And I just want to say I'm very happy, pleased, and honored to have Sterling aboard. and we were looking for someone to work on the transformation process that we plan to undergo in athletics, and to do that in a very diligent, strategic, meticulous, and methodical manner, and to look at what we need to look at in terms of strategic planning, marketing, and business planning as we move our program forward. And so I want to thank you for accepting this leadership opportunity to move Nanook Nation forward.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Well, thank you, Dr. Champagne. I'd like to thank the Nanook Nation, Chancellor White. This opportunity is one that I look forward to. I don't see, a number of people have said we may have some challenges. I don't see anything in athletics as a challenge. I see it as an opportunity to overcome. I'm very excited. I look at the new environment that I'm coming to and can't wait to overcome some of the things that I've never really experienced before being from the South. I can't wait to experience the snow on a regular basis. And when I came up in July for my visit, there were, I got an opportunity to walk downtown, and it was just a very refreshing, nice atmosphere. The people were really nice. It reminded me of being home. Individuals spoke without knowing, and that was refreshing. After doing research and looking at UAF athletic program, I thought this was a wonderful opportunity for me to come in and get better, as well as help to bring some of the skill sets that I have. I think we are a gold mine, ready to be, I guess, mined. Yes. I want to pledge to Nanook Nation that I'm going to give you my very best, and I've come ready to bring my hard hat and work hard every day.
All right, I think with that, we can open the floor to questions. We'll start here in the room in Fairbanks and then go to the line. So if folks here in the Fairbanks have questions.
Sterling, one thing I remember from your visit in July, and I asked you a question about this, was establishing a relationship with the state legislature. And one thing you talked about doing was possibly bringing a basketball game to Juneau between UAA and UAF. Is that still among your plans, or is that still something you're still considering? Or?
Well, everything is on the table for discussion and consideration. One, you have to ensure or make sure that it's within your budget. But I'm an administrator who tried to do things outside the box. But yes, visiting and bringing a team or teams to Juneau would be something that would be, I think, would be refreshing, just so that the state legislators get an opportunity to see the product that we bring to the table. And if we can't bring our teams to them, figuring out a way to get them to come to us. We've done a number of things in my career that invited state legislators to our campus. And it's gotten funny, some of the places that I've been, because state laws kind of prevent schools or institutions from doing some things. So I got to get familiar with the system that's here. But whatever we can do, we rest assured we will do.
Kind of, what was the process like for you personally? Because I know it was kind of a long one with a bit of a delay in there. Kind of what was that like for you, and what's it like now that you have the job, it's all over?
The process was the process itself was not long. It was a matter of figuring out, was it a fit for me? After interviewing with Chancellor White and his commitment to athletics, and then having a conversation with Dr. Champagne and understanding his commitment to athletics, because I had a couple other opportunities that I was exploring, and I decided that this would be the best place for me, because you have to, if one of the first lessons I learned at Southern Miss was that in order for you to be successful, the people above you have to want you to be successful. And all they conveyed to me was they wanted to be successful. They wanted Nanook Nation to be great. being the flagship of the state, we're going to be great. You know, so it's about changing the brand, or not even changing the brand, polishing the brand so that it shines past everything else. You know, if you're the flagship of a state, people are going to follow you because you're the flagship of the state. And so I'm very happy to see all of that gear on. As I said in my interview, I wanted to see that if I got the opportunity to come back, and I'm very happy to see all the gear that's on. That means, you know, people have pride in the institution and they support the institution. So the process for me wasn't very difficult. It was just determining the fit.
Now, is there any particular, you know, challenge or project you're looking forward to taking on? You know, basically your first step after coming in. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to do here?
Well, I will say this. I cannot say what I want to do because I don't know what needs to be done. So my first project would be to assess, to take a full evaluation of the program and to understand where our strengths, our weaknesses, and then try to fill in the gaps there. The one thing that I've asked several of the staffers that I've noticed, possibly having a uniform apparel gear. That's something that I'm a big fan of because it gives the institution and its fans a sense of identity, you know, with branding. But again, there are challenges. So I don't understand all the challenges because I'm new. So I want to take my time and just be in our observation mode and gather as much information as possible and then make a decision or have a decision made. I believe in a collective management style, meaning coaches, student athletes, staffers, people above me. The thing that I've learned the most being at limited resource schools, that your dollar has to go far. It simply have to go far. You can't just spend like you have a credit card and hope to pay it later. You have to, when you spend $1, it has to get you $1.50. It has to be valued more than what you're spending. And I think having a brand or starting there can really help. Some of the things that I've heard to this point with some of the deals that we have in place, we're getting the biggest bang for our buck, and I'd like to continue that along those lines.
And last question for me, this one's a tough one.
Okay.
Are you prepared for a Fairbanks, Alaska winter?
I can't tell you if I'm prepared because I've never experienced it. I can tell you I'm going to rely on my colleagues to help me and prepare me for it. I can tell you that I will purchase as much as I can to stay warm. I will say this. I prefer the cold much more than I prefer the heat.
You're in the right spot then.
Because you can always put on clothes and get warm, but you can't take off clothes and get cool. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to being in the community. I've seen enough polar bears that are mounted, so I don't know if I want to see any bears, but I'm looking forward to the winter.
All right. So, how was it like telling friends and family, hey, taking a job in Alaska?
That was difficult. Not telling them that I'm considering Alaska, that their response, and everyone would say the same. I mean, literally, it's like they rehearsed it. Alaska? I'm like, yes, Alaska. Alaska? Like, yes, Alaska. Alaska? When you're in the lower 48, particularly down south, you really don't get the scope of Alaska. When I came up for my interview, I didn't realize the vastness of the state. And so I was on an airplane and you know, you have the tracker. So I said, let me just see where Fairbanks really would be located. And I scrolled up and I scrolled up and I scrolled up. I must have scrolled like 15 times. And I was like, wow, where is this? And so when I finally got to Fairbanks, I was like, okay, cool. But no one has said anything negative, other than my current student athletes who don't want me to go. My phone is almost dead now because they've been texting, saying, "Are you leaving us? I can't believe it." But you know, it was a great place. My time there was wonderful. Now it's time for new challenges, and to be perfectly frank, I'm sorry. For me, more than anything, it was about family. I have my 2 younger sons live in Seattle, and they're teenagers now, so I needed to be closer to them. I think not for them, but for my sanity, because I don't know if they want me to be that close, but I needed to be able to get to their games and see them more than I do now, being on the East Coast, and the opportunity that UAF possessed, being the flagship, having that brand, or having the potential to have that brand. At Savannah State, we are a smaller school. We're in a system of 25 other schools, and you're not the big dog. You know, you go into a company for a sponsorship, and you have to convince them why they should be a part of you, because they would much rather be a part of UGA or Georgia Southern, someone that has a bigger brand or bigger appeal in the community. My intent to come here would be, we are the appeal. We want to be, and that's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take myself, coaches, student athletes, getting into the community, creating that aura around our program that businesses want to be a part of us. When I was here on my interview, we went to several businesses, and I didn't see any Nanook gear, or I just didn't see people walking around with it. And that's, if I have any challenge, I would like that to be my greatest challenge, to get people to accept us and be a part of us.
I got 2 questions for you. One is, how soon do you start the marketing? I would call it a battle. You know, how soon do you start that? Do you do it like right after this press conference, or?
Day one, right now.
Okay.
We need you in there, no good. Can someone get him a t-shirt?
I graduated from the school down south.
No, we won't hold that against you.
Okay. My next question is, how much fun is it for you to get to know and meet coaches in sports that you didn't see at, Southern Miss or Savannah State, such as hockey, rifle, cross-country skiing, Nordic skiing, excuse me. So how much fun is that for you to get to know the people in these sports and also get to learn about these different sports?
It's an exciting time for me. My passion is college athletics. So as I said to the coaching staff earlier today, or earlier this morning, it wouldn't matter to me where. We were on Jupiter, at the sun. If I could do what I'm doing, this is fun. I've been wanting to do this since I was 13, and this is absolutely fun. And to get to know, or to get an opportunity to experience sports that I've never had an opportunity to see on a collegiate level every day, I welcome that opportunity and that challenge. Well, for me, the challenge is learning the rules, so I know what I'm watching, and instead of asking people questions, I had my previous president, Dr. Dozier. I love her to death, but sitting with her at a football game was just kind of, oh. She was like, "What happened now? What happened now?" I don't want to be that guy. Coach, what happened now? So I want to know the sport and know the strategy of it before. And the best way to do that is to get to know the coach, get to know the student athletes, and be upfront and let them know, hey, I don't have a lot of experience in this, so tell me, why do we use this strategy? Why are we going to take this approach? And so that you can have an understanding of what you're looking at. But I love sports. I love all sports.
Do we have any questions from the folks on the line? Maybe? Maybe not. All right, Andrew has a question.
How do you get students who don't know how exciting college athletics are to come to the games and the events and the matches?
Well, Andrew, I was a promoter in college, social events person, parties and those things, and I've always taken the same approach that I did with promoting parties that I do with athletics now. And you have to make your event the place to be. You first have to be excited about it and let people know that you're excited about it, and tell them how good it is or will be, and they will come. It's sort of like that movie, If You Build It, Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. So it's that if you create the aura around it, they will come. And all you have to do is you be consistent with it. You make it exciting, and then they will come.
And cheer.
And cheer.
And ask you, how's it going? What's going on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Other questions from folks in the room? I didn't have any online, so.
I'm good.
We're good, right?
One last go, if there's anyone on the line that has questions, please speak up.
I'll ask one more question if that's all right. I've got many more.
Yes,
So student comes first in student athletes. But there's lots of, how do you make sure that the students are achieving in their academic roles when they've got so much competition and so much of the athletics that's a part of their lives?
For me, student athletes are geniuses from the beginning, because they're asked to do things that the majority of the students are not able to do. So they come in with an understanding that they have to strive for more or be better. And when you tap in, for most of the students that I've been in my lifetime, student athletes that I've been around, they have a strong sense of competitiveness, that if you tap into that and you challenge them on every aspect and not allow them to fall short in one area, they will rise to the occasion. So for me, it's about challenging them and ensuring, and not only challenging them, but highlighting when their success stories. So at Savannah State, when I started, we didn't have the greatest team GPAs. So we began highlighting students who were academic excellence, and we put them on a plaque. We set it in a hallway that in our building where everyone can see it, and their names are there forever, and until someone removes it. But what we found, and this is our 10th semester doing it. What we found that students who did not have the GPA to have their name there, we found them because it was right next. The wall was right next to a restroom. You'll find them standing, looking at the wall. And when I catch a student who I know his name is not on the wall, or a freshman, I ask, is your name there? No, sir. You know how to get it there? Yes, sir. Show me. And every kid that I've ever challenged that way, their name has gone on there and stayed on there. So that's something that I believe you do. Students are resilient. I mean, they know what they have to do, but and I was a student, everyone in this room was a student, but if you can get away with it, you will. But when you set the bar really high and you have a standard that is the Nanook way or the Tiger way or whatever way you determine, they will reach for that bar and achieve it. I just believe in that wholeheartedly.
How do you encourage coaches that maybe they didn't win their last game?
Okay.
How do you get to them and say, hey, next time you're going to do it? What's
my approach?
What's the Sterling way?
Well, I have a lot of experience in that when it comes to football. Our football program was a struggling program, and what we attempted to do for the last 7 years was we had open conversations about how do we get better. We specifically talked about the strengths of the team, the weaknesses of the team, the strengths of the coaching staff, the weakness of the coaching staff, the strength of the head coach, the weakness of the head coach, the strength of the AD, the weakness of the head AD. Because when you're a team, if you don't attempt to address those issues, then you're committing what I call insanity. You're trying to look for a different result, but have the same method of approach, and that doesn't make sense. Sometimes you have to go in a different direction, or when you're honest and have that relationship, coaches will move in a different direction on their own. Our football program, I was sharing with Dr. Champagne earlier, now that I'm leaving, my football program will probably go undefeated. And well, I don't know, because we got to play Miami this year, but and they're a top 3 team. But in our conference, they will probably compete very well. We've seen steadily progress. But at Savannah State, most of our programs were highly competitive and to be underfunded in the first place on a Division I level. So you have to have good people, and good people bring in even better people, and then you manage all of that and make it work.
That's exciting.
Thank you.
All right, let me give one more shot to the folks on the line. We've got 3 people on the line. Do any of you have any questions?
Since it's my, can I take privilege?
You can take whatever.
Okay, since it's my first. Well, oh, it failed.
Oh, no, keep on going.
Well, I would like to thank a number of people for my reasoning for being here today. First, I'd like to thank God, my family, and the Nook Nation for giving me this opportunity. But to be more specific, I'd like to thank Dr. Cheryl Dozier, who's the president of the University of Savannah State, and Edward Jolly. They've helped me and molded me to be the product that I am. As I said earlier, Chancellor White and Dr. Champagne for giving me the opportunity, seeing something in me. But most of all, it's so many people, and it's so many people that in my lifetime that has supported me and have given me a jewel or a nugget that I've used and still use today. From Commissioner Dennis Thomas, that's at the MEAC, Dr. Houston Yates at Kentucky State, so many of my colleagues that are athletic administrators that have put up with me and listened to me rant and rave about what we want to do. Lynn Thompson, Dr. Ingrid McCree, Dr. A.T.N. Thomas. It's just so many people that I want to thank. And if I failed to call your name, I apologize. But I wanted to thank everyone because I'm a product of your support. And I look forward to working with these fine people here in this room today. And I look forward to hopefully I can duplicate, or we can duplicate some of the success that we've had at Savannah State here at UAF and be a powerful program to contend with. Thank you.
Thank you. So for the folks on the line, this audio conference was recorded. It will be posted online with the news release within the hour. Thank you for dialing in.
Doing the right stuff. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, streamers.
No worries.
Your conference is no